Welcome to the next video in the HTML tutorial series. Here we'll look at the HTML list, heading, and horizontal rule elements. In our prior video, we added a list of planets to our page. However, we forced the content into a list using the line break tags. In HTML, there's a better way to build lists, and that's through use of the ordered and unordered list elements. The OL tag, or ordered list, builds an ordered list of content wrapped within LI, or list item, elements. If we click the Try It Yourself button, we'll see the results of the OL with 3 LIs on the right hand side of the page in a numerical list. The example below uses a start attribute set to 50, and this ordered list will start counting at 50. The unordered list uses the UL tag instead of the OL, and it still wraps its individual items in list item LI tags. Try It Yourself will display this content in a bulleted or unordered list. So with those tags in our toolbox, let's return to our code and modify our list. I'll replace the existing list we built using line breaks with a new list using the unordered list and list item elements. I'll save this, revisit the page in the browser, and we see we now have an unordered list of planets. Something else we could do with these elements is build nested lists. So if we go back to our code, I'll make a little space, paste in some new content, and scroll up so we can take a look. So here, I've started a new section with a div, I've added the header of planet, and I started building an unordered list. We have 2 list items for Mercury and Venus, and another list item for Earth. But embedded within this list item is another UL, another unordered list that has a list item itself for the moon. If we save this and revisit the browser, we'll see our nested unordered list, where the moon has a different bullet which indicates a nesting under Earth. The same for Mars. I've included ellipses for the following planets for brevity in the code. Similar to the unordered and nested unordered lists, we can also create ordered and nested ordered lists. If we go back to our code, I'll scroll down and paste in another block of content, which is an ordered list with list items and nested order lists. If we save this and view it in the browser, we now see a nested ordered list of planets and moons. What I'd like to do now is add some HTML heading elements to our page to really make our heading stand out. We have our primary heading for solar system and then a heading for the list of planets. If we go over to W3 Schools and look at the HTML headings element, we'll see that HTML headings are defined within the H1 through H6 tags. The H1 is the primary heading, or the most important heading on the page, so it's the biggest and boldest. And the H6 is the least important heading on the page, so that's the smallest. So if we go back to our code, and I'd like to clean it up a bit just to have the nested unordered list of planets, we could start adding the heading elements to our page. So if I scroll to the top and surround the solar system with an H1 tag, save the page and revisit it in the browser, we'll see our main heading, solar system, is now big and bold, very prominent on the page. Now let's add an H2 to the planets heading. We could do this by changing the paragraph tag to an H2, saving, revisiting the page. We see planets is now big and bold as well. But it's a little bit smaller than the H1 because the H1 is the most important heading on the page. Finally, let's add a credits heading for the footer. I'll wrap this one in an H3, save it, revisit the page, and now we have a heading for our credits. The final element I'd like to look at in this video is the HR tag, or the horizontal rule. The HR tag defines a thematic break in a page. The tag is pretty straightforward, it's a simple HR. So if we go back to our code and add a horizontal rule between the nested list and the footer, save the page, revisit it in the browser, we'll now see a horizontal rule dividing the planet list from the credits. In the next video, we'll learn how to add an image to our page.